In 1974, after 3 years of intense civil engineering development, Warrenpoint Harbour Authority continued in its newly expanded port. Of course, the port itself dates back almost 250 years to the 1770s, when the then Dublin government awarded seed money of £500 in order to start operations. By 1974, Warrenpoint Harbour Authority was already incorporated as a trust port. Trust ports are created by statute and existing not for shareholders, but as a commercial, self-enabling enterprise that can reinvest in itself as part of Northern Ireland's critical port infrastructure. And it's gone from strength to strength. Last year alone, over 3.25 million tonnes processed, 7.5 million turnover, over 400 jobs supported, and equally importantly, locally charitably supporting over 70 organisations. That growth has depended on all of the port's stakeholders, and I'd like to thank everyone who has been involved and contributed to that success, but especially folk the calibre of Noel McParland, who after a phenomenal 60 years service in the port has genuinely helped make it a better and stronger organisation.
Memories. Well, just having to work very hard. That was the big thing, when I came here first, there was no machinery as such. You shunted every container and flat from the ship to a holding area, and you shunted the shipping stuff back out again. And there was all hands on. There was no machinery as such to lift that except the crane.
In terms of standout moments, I can't name one. There are so many funny stories, so many amazing things that have happened. But for us, it's where Sea Truck started. It's where we had our first sailing back in 1996, and it's always going to be the kind of emotional home of CLDN on the Irish Sea. Even though we've grown and opposite routes from Dublin as well now, this is where we started, and I'll always hold it kind of very closely to my heart. It's a great place, and it's a fantastic team that run this port.
Since I've been here, in general terms, Warrenpoint Port has been the second busiest port in Northern Ireland in terms of tonnage throughput for most of those years. It's a multimodal port, which means it handles different types of cargo, Ro-Ro being the main one, that's Sea Truck, CLDN, Lolo, the container traffic. I've picked up that it hasn't been well known maybe in the wider port circuit, and maybe that's because it has no passenger ferries and it's mainly freight cargo only. So it's probably, that's one of the reasons why I think anyway, it's not as well known as some of the other ports like Belfast and Dublin, obviously.
Totally changed. The boats were a lot smaller. The volume of the cargoes were smaller. Like you're talking green boats now, you can come up to 14,000 tonne. And when I first came in here, it would have been between 500 tonne up to 1,000.
Yeah, and then the cargoes that were handled back there were different. There would have been things like coal, containers, caustic soda and paper reels. Probably for me was the first time the cruise ship arrived. The town was buzzing, there was a lot of people came down to see it, and it was just a great atmosphere.
Well, I'm one of many first aiders in the port, and a few years back, 4 colleagues and myself, we done a first responders course, which was a great achievement for us all, and a very proud moment for myself.
One of the first big jobs that I was sort of involved in was securing some funding to develop the modern town dock as we see it out there today, and build the marina facility, which was for fishing vessels and recreational vessels. And it opened up the harbour to the town to the harbour, and sort of complements the square, I think. So, and still to this day, you get a lot of people just sitting out the front there watching the vessels go in and out, and they're eating their fish and chips or having their ice cream, whatever. So the town and the harbour are very much interactive in that way.
You know, you never a dull moment in Warrenpoint Harbour. You might meet somebody today and then meet somebody else tomorrow, and the same, different chat on that, Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people, and I mean, for our own department, finance is fairly small, but you know, there's a few. Sharon Davis, who a lot of people would know here, she was at 25 years in the port here. She's in the last couple of years moved on to another role, and then Mary Taylor, she was in the port for over 20 years as well. She's retired, so that's from my own personal point of view. You know, people I would have dealt with every day. Always plenty of characters in the port. Always colourful characters. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Rory Donnelly. I am Managing Director of a grain importing company called Comex McKinnon, a major supplier to the agricultural industry within Ireland, and we have worked with Warrenpoint for close to 40 years. Warrenpoint Port, pictured here behind me, has played an integral part of the growth of Comex since our inauguration in 1982. With all the various members of the Warrenpoint management team from the mid-80s through to the current team of David Holmes and Kieran Grant, the working relationship has been one of positive partnership, which culminated in the building of a state-of-the-art discharging and storage system that is Shed 12 over a decade ago, a super efficient operating food grade store which we are all proud of. So, on behalf of the Comex team here, I wish Warrenpoint Harbour Authority a happy 50th birthday, and we all look forward to the next 50.